Hey everyone, it's been a while since I've made a video, and I figured why not make a video? Since I was at HeroesCon in Charlotte, North Carolina this past weekend, why don't I show off my stuff? And had a great time. HeroesCon is a great collector's convention. I highly recommend it. If you guys are ever thinking about going, attend. Just go one time. And this is the third straight year I went. The first year, my wife and I went up there. I just went for one day, and I was overwhelmed, but it was great. Last year, we went for 3 days, and came back again this year for another 3 days. And this time, I went by myself Friday and Sunday. My wife Michelle tagged along with me on Saturday. Michelle's not into comics or anything like that, but she loves experiences, so she likes walking around, looking at people and everything. And actually, I gave her a list of some stuff to look for, and she's great at hunting stuff down. And she actually helped me find some books. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to break it down by the 3 days, and this is for Friday, the first day I was there. This is not the first thing I found, but I have on my list. I only need two more fanzines of Amazing World of DC Comics to finish the run. I needed this issue, obviously, which I now have. Also need 15, which is the Wonder Woman cover, that cool purple type cover. I did not see that at all at HeroesCon. And this was the only issue of number 17 of Amazing World of DC Comics with Shazam, or Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel. And found it on my first day. One of the last things I picked up that day. Very pleased to pick it up. It's in nice shape. It's about a very fine condition. So only have one more on my list. And for those that don't know, Shannon, Solid 4-String Bottom End, has, I think, two complete sets of this. And he did a video, he actually did, I think it was 4 or 5 parts, where he spotlighted the Amazing World of DC Comics. And it's definitely worth checking out. It's you just have to go into his backlog of stuff. It's about 6 years ago he did it. Anyway, that was that. This is actually these next two comics are the first two comics I picked up. I went to Dale Roberts Comics, and if you go to HeroesCon, go to his booth. It is the most well-organized booth there is. I mean, every other dealer that's there should copy his presentation. It's just easy to find everything. It's easy to navigate. He has great wall books, and most of his stuff is in Mylar, when we know that Mylar makes everything look better. But I picked these two issues up. This is DC Special number 16. It's a square bound from 1975. And also picked this other one up, DC Special number 18 from 1975. I am trying to get all the square bounds from 1975. And I'm plugging Shannon again, Solid 4-String Bottom End. He did a video a few years back on the lost, I think it was the lost square bounds, or the Lost Giants of 1975, and they were all square bound issues that DC put out, and that's how I got hooked on that. And so that was this. And by the way, I'm just showing the books. I'm not going to go into who did the art and everything. This video would probably run a little long, and so I don't want to go too long with the video. So anyway, those were the first two, and those were the only two that I picked up from Dale Roberts, and he had a lot of books. In fact, I'm trying to collect all the 100-page super spectaculars that DC Comics put out from the early 70s to the mid 70s. And he did have on his wall, he had Super Spectacular number 4, which is Weird Mystery Tales, and he had it in nice shape. It was like very fine plus. And he also had the Love Stories one, the number 5. That was mid to low grade. He was asking $400 for each. And I'll be honest, I brought $600 in cash. That was my budget. That's all I could afford to bring. And I was going to sit, I stuck to my budget. I wasn't going to use a debit or credit card as an excuse. Oh, I just want to get one more thing. I had a budget and I stuck to it. And if I would have bought one of those books, yeah, you can wheel and deal there. He might have given me $25 off, $50 off, but that would have just dipped in too much to what I brought. So I had to pass. Anyway, this DC Special number 18. This was my first big pickup of the con. I have looked for this the past 2 years at HeroesCon. Supergirl number 1 from 1972. Really nice issue. I mean, this is like a very fine minus. I was very pleased to find this. Like I said, last year I saw several copies, but they weren't in that great a shape, and they were overpriced, in my opinion. The first year I went to HeroesCon in 2023, I didn't see this at all. So I was very happy to pick this up, and nice shape. Very pleased. Actually, what I wanted to do is my plan was to pick up the 5 issues I needed to complete the run of Supergirl. It was only a 10 issue series, and I had 5. I only saw this. Dale Roberts had one of the issues I needed, but I thought it was a little high, the price, even though it was in nice shape. And I don't necessarily buy at the first booth I go to, because you're going to see everything more than once for the most part. But the Supergirl, I bought this right away because I know this has been, for some reason, has been a difficult book for me to find at HeroesCon or any other con that I've been to in the past few years. Now, these next 3 books I bought from, I don't remember the seller, but they had 20% off on these. And again, this is a series I'm collecting. I believe it's a 5-issue run. This is issue number 1 of the Bionic Woman. And I don't know what kid didn't have a crush on Lindsay Wagner, who portrayed Jamie Summers, the Bionic Woman, in this show during the mid-'70s. And it's not a spectacular cover, but the book is in really nice shape. We know that Charlton Comics, they made books on the cheap, but this is held up really well. It was a really nice shape. And I'm sorry for the glare. Like I said, I'm in my brother's basement, and this is the best I can do, but nice, just condition book, high grade. Very pleased to pick this up. Second one that I picked up there. I'm still trying to work on all the 100 pages, not just the 4 through DC 4 through DC 22, which some intermingle with the regular series title. So, and I know this is a long process of collecting these. And of course, we know a lot of the romance books are very difficult to find. But anyway, this is Superman Family number 169. He was asking, I think it was like $30 or $35, and then had 20% off. And it's at least a very fine, if not very fine plus. And I got to get it centered a little. And I think I've told you all that for the 100-page books, I like putting them in the Golden Age bag and board. I just think it presents better, and it's because the books are thick. It just, to me, it puts a little less stress on the spine. So I was very pleased to find this. This I picked up on a whim. It wasn't on my list. So far, everything that I've showed was on my want list. This was not. I saw it, and All-Star Western number 1, Powwow Smith. Afterwards, I was a little disappointed. And the reason being, I took it out of the bag afterwards, after I had purchased it later on, and it has like a faint subscription crease. It may be able to be pressed out. It doesn't break color. But I was a little disappointed in that and the condition. Fortunately, it wasn't that expensive, and I had 20% off. But here's the nice thing: and I'm sure all you know this, you go to HeroesCon or you go to any convention. I mean, anytime I ask the dealer, could I see this book out of the bag? They'll be happy to do it, and I make them do it, because if I do it and I catch a tape pull or something like that, well, I'm buying that book. So, but I did not ask to take this out of the bag. Well, here's an interesting thing that I just thought of when I was looking at these books. There was a gentleman who was also looking in the boxes next to me, and he had a flashlight with him. And I thought, boy, that's actually a pretty smart idea, because he was just taking that flashlight and really looking up close at each book. And that's a good idea. Anyway, so that's All-Star Western number 1. This was on my list. I forgot. Again, I wish I would have wrote down where I bought some of these books from. Some I remember, some I don't. This is in super nice shape. Batman number 260, 100 pages for only 60 cents. At least it was a very fine plus, and I think I only paid $35 or $40. And this is a Joker cover from the 70s. So very pleased to buy this. Again, just puts a little dent in the 100 pages, and especially in Batman. I already have, this is my second 100 page for the Batman title. I have all the Detective Comic 100 pagers, but now, so I have a second one here of Batman. This is on my list. I'm 58, and when I was in my mid to late 30s, I amassed a nice little collection of Marvel Silver Age books, and a lot of DC, especially Justice League, because Justice League of America has always been my favorite title. And anyway, I had a nice collection of Silver Age Marvel books, and this was one of them. And this has always been, for some reason, I'm not a huge Daredevil fan, but I always liked this book. I always thought it was a cool cover. I thought it was neat how he reveals his identity to Karen Page. And of course, when I turned 40, I sold all my comics because I thought I was done collecting. I was kind of burnt out, and I wanted to get into something else like sports cards. So I sold everything, thinking, I'm never going to collect comics again. Well, 10 years later, when I turned 50, I said to myself, I just want to buy a couple of the comics, the first couple comics that I remember purchasing as a kid. And the first one I ever remember was Justice League of America number 133. So I picked that up, and I also picked up number 134 from the same seller at the time because I knew it was a two-part story. And then I went on YouTube thinking, I wonder if people show their books. And I stumbled across Shannon, Solid 4-String Bonneman's channel, and I started binge watching all his videos. And that got me hooked back into collecting comics. And it was funny because in the beginning, I had maybe a stack of 10 or 15 books to my name, and I'd be watching Shannon's videos, and he'd have a haul video, and he was showing more books than I had in my entire collection. But 8 years later, I've done a pretty good job of just being very consistent in collecting, and just I think this community, the YouTube community, keeps me just stoked to collect. And and it's a great community, it really is. I had to buy number 58 because I knew it was the second part to that story. So there it is. And that 57, by the way, I saw it several other places, and they were asking a decent amount of money, and it's like I was seeing this book for 40, 50, 60, 70 bucks, and and very fine plus. I bought this for $15, and it is in very fine. There's only a little, I don't want to say, there's a little wear on the back cover, but I think it can be pressed out. But still, as is, it's a very fine, if not very fine very fine minus. And I was happy for $15. And this was a very fine minus for $15. So there was the second part. It wasn't on my want list, but I knew that it was the second part to that story, so I picked it up. And this was another just pickup that on a whim. Incredible Hulk number 125. I like the Hulk. He's one of my favorite Marvel heroes, and the Absorbing Man's a cool villain. Shout out to Dr. Silver Age, because I know that's one of his favorite villains, if not his favorite. And of course, he loves old Hulk and J-Jaws, as he calls him. So I picked this up. It was 50% off. It's in very fine condition. I was very pleased to get it. Okay, on Saturday, Michelle, my wife, went with me, and I didn't pick up a lot, but here we are. She found this book. I'm collecting the run here. I think this is 4 issues. I have number 1. This is number 2. It's in very nice shape. There's only a little, I know there's a glare there. It's tough to see. There's a little chip right there above my thumb. Just a little chip in the front, but other than that, it's in very nice condition. It was a nice price, so I picked it up. I just needed, and I didn't see any other emergency. I wasn't actively looking. She looked. This place that I bought this also had number 1, but I have number 1, and it's in really nice shape. This is Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's gold key, nice, cool painted cover. This was from April 1977. I believe it's issue number 69. It's in fine condition. It was $2. I bought a few books for my nephew. My brother said, hey, could you please pick up some books for Caleb? It doesn't have to be anything special. So I bought some modern, some more, I think it's more Copper Age, of some Amazing Spider-Man and a Hulk. And they were all $2 a piece in nice condition. And so I had 4 books. It was $8. And then I pulled out my $10 bill to give him. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me find something for myself. Because I knew he had some gold key horror. And so for $2, yeah, this was a good deal, actually. It really was. This is the other 100-page Batman issue that I picked up. I bought this at Worldwide Comics, and that's another booth that I highly recommend y'all checking out. And one of the reasons I really like them is they had multiple copies of issues, but every issue was graded on the outside. And see, not every dealer will give you a grade, and so you're kind of looking, and then you have to ask. You should ask them to take the book out of the bag, no matter if it states it's very fine or whatever. But it's just nice to know that they have a grade on the book, And so, and I did ask to take a look at this, and it was in very fine, and that's what it is, very fine condition. Batman number 254. So, got another Batman 100-pager. This might be, believe it or not, my favorite pickup of the day, of the weekend. I've always thought this was a cool cover. Again, I used to have the entire Silver Age run of Captain Marvel. The first, is it, I think 21 or 22 issues? No, 21 issues, I believe. And this was my favorite cover. This or number 1. And I wanted this back. I bought this also at Worldwide Comics. Not at the same time. Michelle and I went there Saturday morning and spent a couple hours there, had some lunch, and then we came back. And believe it or not, I was almost kind of getting a little tired, burnt out of looking over and over. And I told Michelle, I said, I'm just going to find a big book. I'm just going to buy something big and just, because I didn't think I was going to come back on Sunday. And I'm going to find something, big. And I went back to their booth. They had a Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 1 from 1968. It was a very fine minus for, I think, $150, $175. And I love that. Again, I used to have that entire run. And then I sold it when I turned 40. And, but I wanted a little better grade for that book. And so they had 2 different copies of this, Captain Marvel. And this is a very fine / near mint. And it was a beauty. And it really is every bit of a 9.0. And so I picked it up. And again, I didn't pay a lot. I mean, well, I paid a decent amount, but I still had plenty of money left over to buy some other books. This was, I think, the last book I bought on Saturday, but this also I picked up earlier on Saturday. Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 14. I paid like $15. This is a very fine minus condition. I have a few. I pick up a couple Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. when I see them every now and then. I'd love to get the entire run again. But actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, collect this run first. Just the first 21 issues, the Silver Age run. And so I picked that up. Again, got that. So that was Saturday. Also on Saturday, I picked up Tomorrow's Publications. They have a booth every year at HeroesCon. And they'll have boxes of back issues, not just the magazine back issue, but also Retro Fan and some of the other publications they put out. And then they have a bunch of their new stuff. And I bought a couple older issues of Retro Fan. Issue number 3, and then another one that's spotlighted Three's Company, and for $5 a piece. Okay, for Sunday, this is another maybe second favorite book that I picked up. It's nothing super spectacular, but it is kind of tough because it is the first appearance of Lady Shiva. It's probably the most expensive book in the entire Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter run, number 5, if I didn't say so, and. I went back Sunday, and I came across a booth. It was a father and son, and I was looking through a booth, and one of the guys said to me, I think it was the father, said, by the way, these books in these few boxes here are 25% off. I'm like, really? So, and by the way, as you all know that have been to conventions, probably the best day for deals is the last day, because dealers don't want to take all that inventory back. They'll slash prices, and now, I didn't have a lot of money. By then, I had, I believe, $50 or $60 left. And I still had some other books on the want list. And for example, I was looking for Doctor Strange number 177. That's where he got the new costume. And the guy, they had that. They also had Ghost number 40. I believe it's number 40. That's a square bound from 1975. A nice high-grade book. And that's on my want list. And then there was another 100-pager that I pulled. It was a Superman. I don't remember the number, but it was a Neil Adams wraparound cover. And I had all 3 out, and I was deciding which one am I going to pick. And then I looked through the box again, and I saw this. I missed it the first time, and I'm like, wait a minute. Not that it wasn't the most expensive book. It wasn't the most desired book or whatever, but I've looked for this for a while. It's been difficult, and I knew it was a very good price. I can get 25% off, and then I still have a little money left over for if I wanted to find something else. Not a lot of money left over, so I did buy this, and I was very pleased. It's a very fine plus. It's great condition, and The reason I picked this over the other books, especially over Ghost number 40, because I'm trying to collect like the first 75 or 80 issues of Ghost. But the reason I picked this is I'm collecting this series as well, and I needed this issue, number 5, and I also needed number 18. And so I figured I'm going to get the one that I'm closer to completing. So I didn't see number 18, but I'll get it. I'll get it this year sometime. So I was glad to pick this up. Nice copy, really nice copy. And I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I miss this the first time? And I kind of knew I'm getting this. I told Shannon later on, I was kind of keeping him and Rod, Dr. Silver Age, updated on what I picked up. And I told him, I said, it just came down between this and Ghost. He said, I would have picked Ghost. And you know, you don't lose either way. But again, the reason I picked this one is because I'm closer to completing this series. So I had a few bucks left over, maybe $20 left. And I've went to these next two from another dealer. They were 50% off. So I think I picked this up for $5 or $10, maybe $5. Captain Marvel number 9. And it's like very fine minus. So I have 2 issues of Captain Marvel from the Silver Age, and I think I might start picking up some others along the way and slowly build on this series. I'm working on this series, not the entire run. The Many Ghosts of Dr. Graves. This is issue number 36. I'm working on all the 20-cent covers for now. And this was $5. It's a mid-grade book, but for $5, sure, why not? It still looks nice. And so I picked it up. Then my last 2 purchases was from another dealer. They were 50% off. 2 books, House of Secrets. This is number 141. It's about a fine plus. It has a little ink spillage there. But for $5, in my opinion, DC Bronze Age horror is better than any other. I think just DC really nailed it with their Bronze Age horror. With the horror during the Bronze Age, excuse me. I think they were better than Marvel, better than Charlton, better than the others. And, you know, the artists that were on this. And anyway, this is number 141. And I also picked up 142. And this is actually a nicer shape. It's not like probably a very fine. But glad to get it. And anyway, that's the haul. I know I went a little long. Normally I don't like to go this long. Again, for those who are contemplating ever attending HeroesCon, make a trip, go. But I would say just don't go for a day. Go for the 3 days. You'll have a blast. You know, you don't have to be there all. And if you go 3 days, you don't have to spend all day, one day at the con, thinking, oh my gosh, it's the only day I got to get everything in. You know, you could take some time. There's other stuff. There's a NASCAR museum, which is pretty cool, in the same convention center as the HeroesCon was. There's great places to eat. And there's great dealers. There's Reese's Comics. I've bought from them the past couple of years. I didn't buy anything from them this year. Dale Roberts Comics. Highly recommend them. Again, best organized booth there is. Great wall books. Worldwide Comics, I highly recommend as well. Super World, I think it's Super World Comics. There's Bedrock City Comics. Smaller booth was Smashers Comics. I recommend you checking his booth out. It's a small booth, but he always has great deals and some good books. I didn't buy anything from him this year, but the last 2 years I bought some very nice high-grade books, Bronze Age. Bought 1 year, I think it was last year or the year before, I bought the Adventure Comics where the Batman of Earth 2 passed away. And then last year I bought a beautiful first issue of Starfire from the Bronze Age. I mean, in immaculate condition. And he had a cool book that I thought about getting, and it was a double cover of Sergeant Rock, one of the annuals. I don't remember the annual. And it was a double cover. And it was in near mint condition, and he was selling it for like $50, at least asking $50. But I didn't get it, and but anyway. And the nice thing is, as I said, you can ask any dealer, "Hey, can I take a look at this book out of the bag?" You know, and if they say no, then you know what? I'm not going to give them my business. But hey, they're all really nice. And anyway, this is it. Thank you for watching. I know I went long. Cool cover, and that's a nice one too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. And, you know, this is not my normal. I'm in my brother's basement, not my own home, but that's okay. And I'm sorry for the little glare, but I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone. Bye.